Hello and welcome to Talkin Baseball. Game 1 of the postseason came and went. 4 games, 4 results. That's right, every game was finished. Let's talk about them. Hello and welcome to Talkin Baseball. It's October 3rd for a little bit longer. And to be very honest with you guys, right off the bat, it's 11:18 p.m. I need to be out of this office in an hour's time or I will miss my train. And then there's not another train till 6:30 and then I have to Uber, but then I probably have to wait forever for that because it's a long Uber. So I might leave if we're running really late, but just letting the audience know I might be out of here.
Stop talking. Let's start barking.
All right,
Trevs,
Jake.
Twins, BBDs, Phillies.
Yeah. Phillies
My
infield.
Snakes and Jimmy's Rangers.
Yeah.
That works.
Speaking of, my Rangers up first, Jake. Want to burn
Do
it?
it. Boom. We're headed to the Trop to kick off the 23 MLB playoffs. Glass now would try to be Tyler, the creator for Tampa, as they took on the Texas Rangers, and they bear it all with their full Monty, Jordan Montgomery on the mound. Young is hung. The sac fly is underrated. It's 1-0 Texas. Make it 2 on a wild pitch. And then Jose Siri does not care, but in a bad way this time. Bizarre throw to third. It's 4-0 Rangers. The same amount of errors the Rays had. Goo! And they get shut out. Yikes. Montgomery to Chapman to the Kirk. Texas wins 4-0 fine.
All right.
Was brought to you by SeatGeek. Make sure you guys are tuning into our live streams. And make sure you're downloading the SeatGeek app. And if you already have it downloaded, you've already used our other promotions that they've hooked you up with before. They're hooking you up again with more. Code JOMBOYPLAYOFFs. You'll get 10% off whether you're a first-time buyer or not. So you could buy like 8 different ticket things, and I think you get 10% off each time. Might be breaking the system there. Not sure SeatGeek wants me to tell you that, but that's why I'm here for you. That's why I'm Poppy Gordo. Download the SeatGeek app. Go watch some playoff baseball or any other event. SeatGeek, Jim.
Just some bookkeeping before we get into the chatter. Jordan Montgomery, 7 innings pitched, 0 earned runs for him, and then the bullpen comes through for the Rangers. Chapman gets an inning. Leclerc get an inning. It was 4-run lead, not 3, so, not a save situation or hold, so they didn't blow anything. So they did well. On the other side, Glass now 5 innings pitched, 3 earned runs, 4 runs. Not entirely his fault. 8 Ks, the 5 walks are bad. That's bad. And then the rest of the bullpen for the Rays was pretty nasty. Davinsky, Diekman, and Kittredge. But this game came down to the Rays being absolutely awful on defense. Trev, did you catch any of this one?
I watched this game, and this is about as good as you can want as a Rangers fan or a Rangers player. I mean, you get Monty going 7 innings pitched, 93 pitches, and then you can turn it over 2 clean innings, which I think is important because Monty was, in a little bit of trouble there, to finish off the 7. But Chapman comes in. We're always worried about the Rangers bullpen because they've just been, they've been atrocious. And this wasn't some sort of offensive barrage. I mean, 4 runs, that's not exactly a done deal for the Rangers throughout the season, but you give Chapman a clean inning of work. The adrenaline's there. Leclerc has been pretty dang good for them. He gets his inning. And like I said, I mean, this is, if they could have drawn it up prior to the game, this is it. 6 hits by the Rays, 4 errors, and just, it didn't look good for the Rays. Randy Arozarena did his thing. I guess you can find some silver lining in that. Like he was hitting the ball. He's supposed to be your guy. But other than that, it was all Monty, dude. Like it was incredible. Now you got some help defensively behind him. This guy, Evan Carter, that we've talked about, young kid, had a great game, a couple of nice grabs. Robbie Grossman hitting 3rd for your Texas Rangers goes into the Trop and they win game 1 4-0. I love it.
I was a little shocked to see Bobby Gross hitting third,
Right.
but hey, split it up with the switch hitter, sure. Some old school managing by Bochy there. Having him in front of Garcia and Lowe is kind of crazy. Whatever. Rays played awful. The defensive performance by the Tampa Bay Rays, that when we say our corny lines of like Rays going Rays, or, going back, the past 5-6 years of Rays outfielders, you can find guys that are Gold Glove caliber, Platinum Glove caliber, like, even when Brett Phillips used to hop in for them, like special outfield defense. They had 1 year, I forget if it was last year or 2 years ago, that the Rays were kind of sloppy. They felt like they tightened it up this year better, and then they came out today in 4 errors, and there was more ugly plays around it. And they also put a 0 on the scoreboard. And I think the pivot point in this game, besides the Rays just being sloppy and being a dead overall 3 p.m. game, Jordan Montgomery catching the bunt. Like Monty, not known for his pure athleticism, he makes a really nice play there. And if that ball, is just out of his reach or goes off the glove, the Rays are set up. It feels like a momentum change. You just had a pitcher hit the deck, which just feels like one of those weird things in baseball. Instead, it felt like you got beat. And that's what they did today. And this game could have been uglier. Like, Texas left some action on the bases. It really awful showing by the Rays.
Yeah, the 4 errors they don't even tell the story, because Siri drops the ball where he gets his glove on it and center, tracks it down. Like, would be a nice catch, but it's a playoff game. You need those. Like, the Rangers had that in the first inning when left fielder blanking.
Carter made a really nice.
Carter made that play in left field.
I think it was in the first inning. Yes.
Yeah, and so you need those plays, and the Rangers got a couple of them. They got the 2 Monty plays. They got that one. I believe they got another nice one later in the game. I'm forgetting. The Rays not only had the errors on simple plays. Yandy misses one under his glove in the first or second inning. First inning, I think, base hit, or second inning. And then Siri misses one that he gets to the spot, hits his glove, and falls. That didn't go as an error. They scored a run on a wild pitch or pass ball. I don't know how they ruled it. Wild pitch. So that doesn't go as one of the 4 errors. It was just really sloppy. And some of the swings at Chapman's pitches were like, I don't know. I don't know if that pitch deserved that swing. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't even think the Rangers played like an excellent game to just go and take this from the Rays. And that's kind of got to scare you if you're a Rays fan. I mean, even the Rangers, 4 runs on 9 hits. Yeah. I thought when they did not send Jonah Heim on Evan Carter's double and then Glasnow gets out of that inning, I was like, this is bad for the Rangers. It was 1-0 at the time. I believe that was in the top of the 4th. And, Glasnow gets Marcus Semien to pop up, gets through the inning, no runs. And I was like, man, that to me was momentum shifting. The Rangers not being aggressive. And like, if you look at the play, they asked Bochy about it in the dugout. If you look at the play, like, it probably would have been close, but I think you just got to send him there. I think you got to take chances, especially in the Trop against the Rays. But it proved that, the Rays just didn't, like you said, they just didn't play well today, so it didn't matter. You got to wash your hands if you're the Rays and just say, this one's gone, forget it, move on.
Yeah. I think the Rangers, it's not all the story isn't fully that the Rays were bad, even though they were. The Rangers were good. But then they get handed the game. Like you said, 9 hits and I think 6 walks as a team. So they had base runners the whole time, and Monty was great, and they made good defensive plays. They had one botched play, same Carter in left, but they made a lot of good plays as well. So I thought the Rangers played pretty good, but the Rays also handed them some innings and some plays with super ugliness.
It felt like this could have been 6-0 early, and it was 2-0. Like that inning that they score on the wild pitch, it was bases loaded, nobody out.
Yeah.
And then there's a wild pitch, walk, and then Glasnow locks in and punches 2 tickets. So, I don't know. This game, credit to Monty. His changeup was really good against a lot of right-handed bats that the Rays put in their right-handed stacked lineup. So a guy like Harold Ramirez, he gets slid up into the 3-hole. He had some tough at-bats today against lefties. So, when they're pressing their buttons, and that's also the other side of when we say the Rays are going to Ray, Josh Lowe is such a good baseball player, and he should be starting tomorrow because it'll be Nate Eovaldi. That I do think, the Rays will be able to watch this, and they're going to have like a totally different feel because their lineup will genuinely be constructed differently.
The Rays just didn't have any hard hit balls. They had, Yandy and Randy had 2 apiece. The rest of the lineup, the other 7 guys, 0 hard hit balls in this game. Monty did such a good job with the sinker away, changeup away, and then to lefties, you got the curve going away from them. The exit velos are so low because he didn't get a lot of swing and misses for a while. It was all just, and that's why his pitch count stayed really low, which is exactly what the Rangers needed. They needed a win where they have a starter go 7 and 2 relievers go 1 apiece. Like, they're set up. They got a Valdi now and a fresh pen in a elimination game tomorrow.
2 for 13 for the Rangers with runners in scoring position. I think that's got to improve for them because this series obviously isn't over. I just think that it's going to take a better effort to beat the Rays tomorrow. That's all I'm saying.
You'd like to think so.
In my head, I'm just thinking the Rays are going to come out and kind of put together a nice game tomorrow. But shoot, man, I never know.
Yandy had a real tough day at first. Siri, he had the throw that he was trying to make up for because he blocked a ball and popped it up. Then he had another ball at the wall that went off his wrist. It was a tough play. Again, that wasn't ruled an error, but regular season Jose Siri, I've seen him catch that ball multiple times. So, I think if you're the Rays, you can watch it. And it's just so funny that, everyone that got to watch all of today's games, like, if you watch the Rays today, ick. But that could all be washed off with one decent game tomorrow.
Baseball.
All right. Moving on. Next.
Do we want to say the matchup for tomorrow? Eovaldi versus Eflin. And we kind of laughed because they looked pretty similar in their player pictures.
And their careers are similar. They're the same guy.
So watch out for that.
I think Eflin's a little taller, but I get what you're saying. I can see that.
Yeah, they're similar of the same.
Just headshot.
They showed tomorrow's pitching matchup, and you could have just kind of erased the screen and been like, these brothers pitch in the big leagues.
I like it.
And again, that's the 3 p.m. start in St. Pete.
Both Zach Eflin listed as 6'6", Eovaldi 6'2".
Oh, big Zach Eflin, huh?
Yeah. What's that one? Big feet too.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Whatever that means.
Trev's Twins.
Whew. Get your popcorn ready. The formerly Baby Jays and Kevin Gossman would take on Trev's Minnesota Twins, and Pablo Escobar Lopez would try to snort away their 18-game losing streak. Bottom 1, take out the Rolls Royce, baby. 2-run homer in his first playoff at bat. Top 3, Royce Donna Lewis has Twins fans saying, I love you, always, forever. Second home run of the day. Jays only push 1 run across on a Kiermaier single. Lopez, Varlin, Tealbar, Jackson, Duran. Sounds like an awful K-pop band, but the curse is lifted. Twins win 3-1 final.
Good job. The Twins, even though they did get out hit in this game, Blue Jays had 6 hits. Twins had 5 hits. Twins had 2 homers off of one man's bat. Gossman did not pitch well, but the Blue Jays bullpen combined for 5 innings of 2-hit ball and 0 earned runs. Pablo Lopez pitched really well, and then the Twins bullpen combined for 3.1. Sorry, I was so stupid. Of 1-hit ball. So both bullpens did really well. Gossman struggled. A-Rod was kind of adamant that they had a tip on him, and I guess in the past, the Twins have been really good at laying off his splitters. I don't think it really looked like that, in my opinion, and it looked like Gossman was just pretty wild at the front, but there were some at-bats where They really like in Joyce's second homer at bat, he really spit on the splitter. So Trev, you're close to these guys. You think they got anything on Gossman?
Just like every team, they have people looking for stuff like that. As soon as A-Rod said that, first of all, I was just like trying to I don't know, whatever.
It was too early in the game.
I'm not going to start down that path, okay? But I haven't gone back and looked. But obviously, there's a possibility that the Twins had something. Splitter guys are some of the guys that you're going to get tips on easier than most because they have to preset the splitter, and then you're going to see some movement, whatever it is. I'd assume the Jays video people are also looking at it, especially before a playoff start. If they missed that and there was something, shame on the Blue Jays. But this was the Royce Lewis show, obviously. And Pablo pitched great. I think that needs to be said. Like, he gave a really strong outing. Couldn't get out of that last inning after the Kiermaier knock. Then Varland comes in, and this is a guy I've been saying, like, hey, he's going to be a big part of it. I think it was one pitch, laser, 2 pitches, laser for an out. Then he doesn't even go back out there. And the Twins, as the Blue Jays, I feel like the Blue Jays are a very complete roster. Like, they have the starting pitching. The offense hasn't really been there, but you can kind of like look at their lineup and dream upon it. But the bullpen's also been very good for them. Twins are the same way. I think their bullpen is up there with anybody's bullpen right now. And the amount of people they can go to and actually trust might be the most in the playoffs. Like, there's like 5 guys that Rocco will trust in high leverage situations. And I don't think you can say that about most teams. So we saw it today. Thielbar throwing that curveball, which is nasty. Jax, I think, allowed the first pitch. It was Vladdy hits a double into right center, and then he settles up and just starts throwing that slide ball, and it's filthy. And he gets out of that inning, and then Duran comes in. Everyone's looking for 105, and he just starts throwing those banger curveballs. It's like, it's tough, man. So this was about as good as you can do for the Twins. You wish you had some more hits later in the game, but you're going up against a tough bullpen. You're trying to just preserve the lead. Julian gets pinch hit for. I know it was a lefty, so Farmer comes in, but they also try to get Julian kind of out of there later in the game for defense. Michael A. Taylor makes some nice catches. Max Kepler made some nice catches. This was a great, great game for the Twins.
Michael A. Taylor sure did leave his mark on this game. Couple big catches that, if one of those goes differently, it changes the whole course of the game. And the other play that, Trev, you might have to reel me or us in. 2 outs. Kevin Kiermaier, chopper to third. There's rumors you're bringing sequence back for this very play. Kiermaier chops one to third, goes under the third baseman's glove. Bo Bichette's on second. 2 outs. Reminder. And he kind of jogs out the play, and he kind of doesn't have his eye on the ball, and then it trickles past the third baseman, and then whose hand does it end up in? Carlos Correa, like the biggest infield throwing threat to ever play the game, nails him out at home plate, and there you go. Instead of a run scoring, Toronto getting their first run on the board, having still 2 runners on base and a potential to make a big inning out of it, they're out of it. It's 3-0. And man, that took the wind out of my sails, man, because that didn't feel like my brand of baseball.
He's been doing that so well. Carlos has been separating his offense from his defense all year long. He hasn't had a strong offensive year, a couple of spurts here and there, but defensively he's been solid. And that's kind of what you'd expect from a guy. He's a professional. He really is. This game for the Twins, I'll go back to that play, but it started off like, oh shit. Kirilloff and Max Kepler zoo a ball down the right field line. That was an easy out. They missed that. And then Polanco grabs 2 seams, throws it into the dirt. Kirilloff gets stepped on. People are flying all over the place. I'm like, what is going on right here? Then they locked it in. This play was it was amazing because where Carlos was when the ball went under Polanco's glove. And clearly Bichette did not know that Carlos was shifted over basically behind second base. I don't know how he didn't know that. He plays shortstop himself. He should know. But the distance that he covered to get this ball, and then like this is the thing for me, and if I was to do a sequence episode, I'd focus on this. You have to set your feet up. Like, he's going to barehand that ball. So your steps have to be in order. Like you have to grab that ball with your right foot, one more step, plant on your right and throw. So you have to line up your steps while you're going to it because he knows he's going to barehand and have to throw across his body. And like everything just lined up perfectly. He threw a strike right to Jeffers. Jeffers did a great job. He's a big boy back there, so he's going to block the plate. And you're right, man. I mean, that was, it could have been a big inning for the Jays. Instead, it wasn't.
Do you think Bichette, like when they show the replay, he kind of, in my head on that play, you round third hard and then look to pump the brakes a little bit. Kind of what Yelly did on second in the Brewers game later on, which I thought that was unlucky for Yelly, where this, Bichette put him in a bad place to score. He should have be rounding hard, then kind of look at your coach or look back at the play, see that you can go and you're set up to score. But he went slow approaching third, then kind of had to figure it all out.
Thought he was going to make the play. That's why. He thought Polanco was going to come in, make the play, and then he didn't.
Yeah, but he was
just caught there.
You even see guys do that to distract the guy at third baseman.
Yeah.
Like going hard. So I don't know. Maybe we're being too harsh on it. But my dude Kiermaier came up with 2 runners on both times. One time he taps the perfect infield singler. That's the new term. And then the next time he comes through. And I said, Kiermaier's a good postseason player. And he got on base 3 times today. So I guess the guy who I used to not like that much, I'm a big fan of.
You should love him. He's great.
Yeah.
Like him a lot next year.
Yep.
Wink.
I mean, do we talk enough about Royce?
I mean, I think we got to kick it to you,
City.
Man. Honestly, I will say this. He's been out a couple times this year with injury. And every time he comes back, it's like he hasn't missed time, which is not common, dude. I mean, he hadn't seen a major league pitch. I said this on the live stream. I don't know, 2 weeks basically. And he comes back, and his first 2 at-bats, he hits homers, puts the team on his freaking back. I mean, that's momentum. You have the lead. Now it's up to your pitchers just to go out and get it done, and which the Twins did. But shoot, man, like, I don't know what to say about this kid. He's really, really good. And all the people that were saying it, like the Rod Carews and all this, the Hall of Famers that are around the Twins, they were saying, this guy's special, this guy's special. I've seen him. Now, he's been hurt and hasn't been on the field a lot, but when he has been on the field, it's been special, dude. It really has. Like, I think we're looking at a guy who is going to be like a household name, like a Corbin Carroll is. Like, he's like on that level of player. He is.
Happy for him, Trev. And I know there's a lot of discourse about Royce Lewis leading up into these playoffs. And yeah, he looks the part. He's got the pedigree. And I think slightly transitioning to, tomorrow's game, like the Twins felt in control of this game the whole time, which was exciting. And they get rid of the 0 for 18 in the playoffs and all of that. That's done. It's in our rear view. I guess if I'm looking back, and we kind of had a weird moment thinking about this game because the Rays-Rangers game is going on, and you're kind of like, what is this? Like, this just feels off. This game, it felt like the Twins were in control, and then, Jimmy, you were kind of checking in like, wait, is this like a good game? I mean, it's 3-1. We got some tying runners on and all that stuff. I guess if I'm replaying it for Toronto, that Matt Chapman ball travels another foot or two, and we could be talking about a Blue Jays lead or tie game. Gossman and the whole, is he tipping, is he not tipping? His final inning, he strikes out the side, and it looked like he changed up his splitter a little bit, so you wonder if there was just something going on. But at the end of the day, if I'm the Blue Jays, I say, okay, the new kid got us twice. And, like, that was it, right? Like, I know the Twins were more in control of this game, and they had some guys having good at-bats, and Eddie Julian gets rung up on a bad call. Sorry, Trev. But if I'm the Blue Jays, I can pretty easily say, like, okay, so let's maybe be careful with the Lewis kid tomorrow, and then we just go win.
Yeah.
Baseball.
Go Twins, go. Schneider coming out and complaining about the pitch when the Twins just got by a bad Strike call. This was the worst
Yeah.
ump of the 4 games behind home plate.
Yeah, he missed some pitches.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, the third time up, I believe they decided not to pitch their way. So got him a 3-0, threw him a breaking ball on 3-0, then threw him like another splitter 3-1, and so they've already that game plan is already that's like already in their head. But the thing is, man, I'm telling you, there's more to that Twins offense, and I think we'll see it tomorrow.
Well, Lewis was just spitting on the pitch because he had 3-0 in the second at bat too, and then he looked at a fastball down the middle, and Gossman went 4-seam again, right down the middle, and I was like, "Well, dude, nah,
Nope.
Hey man, I think they were third in runs per game in the second half in all of baseball. Like they've been kind of sneaky firing for quite some time.
Can I tell you what?
Yeah,
I just got a little excited for tomorrow because I didn't realize that Jose Barrios was getting the pill in game 2 against his former team, against Sonny Gray, who I feel like they have some of the same off-speed stuff. So I'm pretty jazzed up for that game.
I heard Barrios is throwing it. Still a Twins fan at heart.
Trev?
Yeah,
Trev's the one that told me that.
for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's do game 3. The National League.
Game 3 is brought to you by... Actually, Game 3 is brought to you by... We're doing an event in New York City at the Taylor. So if you live around here, you're traveling around here, October 7th, Canobio, Jolly Olive, myself, we're doing some baseball trivia, and we're going to watch the games. It's going to be a fun night, 7 p.m. We're selling some tickets. They're on our website, shop.johnboymedia.com. Come through. It's going to be a good time with a lot of good baseball people. We'll laugh. We'll cry. We'll see. But come through, some ref guests, some Family Feud, a lot of fun baseball stuff. So if you're in the area, we'll see you at the Taylor. Arizona fought to get in the playoffs, and they'd give the kid Brandon the pill. While Usher's Super Bowl starts with some Corbin, gotta let it burns for the crew. Tyrone Taylor swiftly hits a 2-run homer with some accent music by Carlos Santana. It's 3-0 Beer Makers, but the Snakes march their way down to HR and say, Carol, Corbin goes yard. Cattell back-to-back like a good night out. We're tied up at 3. More Año, Gabby homers. And then Christian Skywalker sends one to the Dagobah system. Fought to Mantiply, to Castro, to Nelson, to Thompson, to Ginkle, to Seawald. Snakes win 6-3 final.
My favorite game of the night, a back-and-forth affair. Lots of fun was had by everyone, everywhere. Big home runs, cool pimp jobs. So this is a poem I wrote.
Sick.
Yeah, thank you very much. that was a poem.
Was that it?
That was the end of the poem. I
A
finished.
tight poem.
Yeah, I wrote it while
Yeah, I
Jen
like
was
that.
burning.
I actually
Yeah.
really like short poems.
It was
so
a
I'm into
haiku
it.
and a half. A high calf.
Yeah.
Burns does not get the job done. 4 innings pitched, 4 earned runs. Both teams have to use all of their bullpen, basically, to make this the slowest game of the bunch. The Diamondbacks bullpen was well executed and really efficient. I mean, they all kind of let a base runner on, and they all got pulled when they needed to, and damage was limited. A lot of that due to Longoria and some defense, but impressive job from them to get how many? I mean, what did they get? They got 6 and 6.1 out of the bullpen. I don't know how much that hurts them tomorrow. Imagine Gallen goes 7.1 tomorrow. Like, that's awesome if he does that. Fought was bad, but they pulled him at the right time. And Williams has a really bad outing for the Brewers.
I think that's the biggest takeaway here. You know, Snakes did what they had to do. The electric players were electric. I mean, Carroll and Marte doing it, Gabby Moreno. I mean, every single one of those guys hit it and showboated.
Enjoyed it.
Like they were ready for the moment,
Dude.
And then the at bat by Walker was absolutely incredible. And that's the biggest thing to me was, okay, you have Arizona's bullpen comes in and does a job. I honestly thought they left Fought in there too long. Man, I don't know. It looked like some good hit. It did. Their bullpen comes in and does the job. Who's this Ginkle kid? By the way, Jake, why weren't you telling us about him all season long? Maybe you did. Maybe I didn't listen. They get the job done. That's a huge boost for them because you have Gallen, and these guys can throw them back-to-back days. They're all hyped. They're ready to go. They want to do the job. Brewers bullpen does the job except for their freaking guy who tries to keep it close to put him into the ninth, and Devin Williams gets banged on. That's like not the confidence builder that you need. Now he should be okay. I witnessed him get hit by the Twins and come back and reel off 20 scoreless innings or whatever. So I'm not too worried about him, but like it's not best case scenario for the Brewers to have your guy that's supposed to be closing out games have that in the back of his head. Like shit, last night I had to work really hard. They took some really good pitches on me. Christian Walker had an incredible at bat against him, and that was, I know the fastball wasn't exactly where he wanted it, but it's still a nasty pitch, and he just put a better swing on it. So this was, I really enjoyed watching this game. I think both these teams they match up well against each other. I think if we watched these guys play, throughout the course of a season, like it's going to be very, very much like a 50-50 coin toss type situation.
This was fun. This was the only game that switched leads at any point today. And we saw everything come into play, right? Like we were worried about Fott. His final line's insane. 2.27 hits, 3 earned runs, just like trying to survive out there in a playoff game. And at the same time, it wasn't enough, right? Like they had him on more of the ropes. It doesn't happen. D-backs bullpen starts going. Trev, you mentioned the kids and how they pimped him a little bit. Well, Corbin Carroll, what I did tell you this year is when he hits it, it has some like mini Shohei. Like the ball comes off his bat differently. That was 444. So yeah, a guy that's not necessarily the biggest emotion guy, he lets it eat a little bit. Cattell, he'd been around the block a few times. He caught on a line. He's going to enjoy it back to back. And then Moreno goes 425. So these aren't, these are big flies. So them enjoying that. And I don't know, all the at-bats today had a little bit of the fuck you in them of like, we're not supposed to win this game, right? Because that's what we all said. We got the rookie on the mound. Everyone else is lined up. If we lose this game, whatever. Christian Walker's at-bats tonight, he was locked in. His foul balls were scarier than the balls he hit. And then our guy Longo, man. We're talking about plays of the day. I mentioned the one that went under the Twins' third baseman's glove, Polanco. Evan Longoria at third base tonight. The turn double play, the snare double play, and then Chopper in the middle of the infield loses it, and who knows what goes on in October and where skill and luck and everything lines up. But he ends up losing the ball, ends up back in his hand. Yelly with an aggressive round on second I'm with Jim. Like I think he saw an infielder lose the ball and said, let me get a little aggressive. If it kicks away, I've got third. And said he's in no man's land and changed a lot of the momentum of this game that Milwaukee was still there at the end. Devin Williams throws a wipeout changeup instead of a fastball to Walker. Maybe we're talking about 4-3 and someone gets on and you figure it out. We're not. Snakes came in, they get the win, and they're lined up and they're feeling good, man.
Walker had the hardest hit ball of any of the 4 games. 115 off the bat or something like that. That thing was a laser.
When it
but
mattered.
yeah,
when it mattered.
Longo, oh man. It was a treat to watch him play. And that's kind of like, why I like him. Like good person, but he's been playing defense like that his whole career. And he's still going and like still moving around, and it's get to his age and my age. He's only like 6 months older than me, which is always freaks me out. Get to our age, and I can't imagine doing the shit that he's doing right now. And I try to keep myself in good shape. He looks as spry as ever out there, and game-changing plays. I'm looking at MLB.com. They have the win probability in that bottom of the 5th. Bases loaded, full count, 1 out. He snags that ball, that line drive by Taylor. It's minus 22.5 0.3% for Milwaukee's win probability right there on one play. Like, he went out and freaking did it, man. It's awesome. But they had 16 runners. The Brewers had 16 base runners.
Yeah. They had there were 13 balls in this game hit over 100 miles per hour on the exit velocity. How many of those 13 do you think came off of D-backs bats?
11.
10.
Yeah, I was going to say 10.
Trev's right. 10. Jake's wrong.
I checked the timing.
Hard
on that.
wrong
Felt like
on
Jimmy's
Jake.
10 came out before.
No,
they said it on the broadcast.
Yeah,
That's why I knew
internet delay.
Yeah, you're wrong. You blew it. Yeah. Josh Donaldson had two of the three for the Brewers. Both singles up the middle. Nice at bats for him. Good job.
Wilson Contreras deserves some love. He had 2 hits today. He threw out 2 base runners. You know,
and he looked at him like, "Are you guys dumb?"
Like, sounds like he heard everyone saying Moreno's the nasty catcher that throws everyone out. Like,
didn't know a bunch of dumb guys came to town.
That's the look he had on his face. So
he's also mad about the MLB's top 50 players. So that he just was like, "Here you go."
But this was the best baseball. I mean, there was hard hit balls. There was really good defense. There was base running, even if they got thrown out, like exciting to watch. The only thing was bad about it was how long it took because there were so many pitching changes. But it was good.
And now it's I don't know if they've announced pitchers yet, but this was kind of the situation, with Woodruff out. You were probably going to throw Miley tomorrow if you win this game, but the Brewers lose it. Now I think they have to throw Peralta, right?
It's listed as Gallon Peralta, and I think it's got to be Peralta.
Yep. D-backs in a nice spot. Like we said, Trev, you said whoever wins game 1 of this series, you had them winning, and you would take that to your grave.
I don't have a grave yet.
Oh, we have a friend.
I do want to. One day, I want to sit down and plot out a nice little piece of land to get buried.
We have a buddy who's got his already bought and plotted.
I would do that. I would do that. And
I
want like
I don't want
like
that
a
at all.
house.
I don't want to even talk about it any longer. But a house? No, you don't want a house like Double Jeopardy.
It's like a mausoleum. Is that what they call it?
In Louisiana and shit. Yeah. Places with flooding do that a lot.
We're looking, part of the recipe to win a World Series, besides winning 54% of your games, is you have to have some breakout stars in the bullpen. You mentioned Ginkel. I'll double down. The 4Ks, how emphatic he was. Lost my language.
Well, they weren't even close to hitting him.
And the 176 ERA plus, a 0.98 whip this year. Like, this guy is a guy, and if he's peaking at the right time and this Snakes run continues, you need that.
Say peaking at the right time again.
Peking duck. Do they have signs in Arizona for this guy? Like, feeling ginky?
We had some funky conversations
Gink
about
Fest.
Gink or dink.
Different levels of gink today.
Well, it's kind of like when your kink is having a gimp. Joe said he was a good big gink guy.
Interesting.
Brewers, 12 hits.
Yeah. All right, and last game of the night, the Phillies beat the Marlins. Cool. We'll be back tomorrow
we'll see it.
to recap the next games.
Fingerprints.
Oh, fingerprints, yeah. Okay, we'll talk about it longer than that. Fine.
How's your mode of transportation for the NL East rivals? It's wheels up for Philly as they defend their NL pennant, while Miami drove up in their Lamborghini Lizardo. Smack that Alec Bohm double, smack that Stott single, smack that Pache wants some more. 3-0. Fish shows some fight on a De La Cruz infield single, but it's a fish fry in Philly. Wheeler, Alvarado, Hoffman, Kimbrel, Fightins win 4-1 final.
Nice job, Jake. I didn't know where you're going with it, but you nailed it.
Acons ended up back in my gym mix, and the results are paying off in dividends.
The Phillies with 11 hits. Every Philly that started the game had a hit. Only one walk because they were hitting. Zach Wheeler, 6.2 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 8 strikeouts, 100 pitches thrown. Alvarado comes in, pitches over the course of 2 innings for 1 total inning. He gets the job done. Then they went to Hoffman for 1 to finish one of those Alvarado things. And then Kimbrel comes in, intentionally balks the runner the third, says, I don't care about you at all. You're just a dumb little fish. I'm just going to get the last out. Huascar Brazoban pitched in this game, so a lot of people learned about him for the first time. And Birdie had a nice play at shortstop. The Marlins were in this game, but they were never in this game. Like, they didn't play bad like the Rays did, where you're like, yo, geez, Rays, get yourselves together. They played their game, and they were, like, per the score and some innings in it, but they were never in this game. Okay. If they were to put runs on the board, the Phillies were just going to throw more on the board afterwards. Be like, okay, fine. We need 2 more to beat you. We'll do it. That's how I feel about it.
This one had the same kind of situation that when Tony Beasley didn't send Jonah Heim. Same situation in the first inning there with the Alec Boehm like sac fly ball to right field. They don't send Schwarber. They don't score, and I was like, "Dang, man! Like what?"
Some people I knew had bet that there would be a run scored in the first inning.
Oh, I didn't see that on the stream. I'm sorry about that, man. That was
it was a tough.
I don't know what's going on around the league. If we're just not being aggressive on the base pass, that's what you talk about every spring training. We're going to be aggressive on the base pass. Runs are at a premium in the playoffs. Let's do it. And then we have a couple instances where like we just weren't aggressive on the base pass. But Boehm's like, you know what? I'm just going to do it again. I'm going to drive him in this time with no sac fly. I'm kind of happy it was like those guys to do it because Stott has been so good all year long. I'm glad that he got a knock. And Boehm, like his story in Philadelphia is awesome. He actually played really nice defensively in this game as well. Harper kind of out of position a few different times, but
the fat guy shift got him on Burger.
Yeah.
Did you see that with the Toronto game? Well, yeah, you watched that one, Twins game with Kirk. I mean, they played him like so rudely.
So far over.
So far over because he's slow. And that's what Harper was doing with Berger. He's so far over on that play that he's like, I think I can get this. He's got no business diving for that ball. I should just head to the bag. But because he's already shifting so much because you got a heavier batter up, he goes for it, and then it ends up actually.
That's really on Wheeler, that one, though, because he didn't break over there.
Yeah, but no one really did. They're playing so far away, and Wheeler thinks he's got time, and then the ball found like a perfect little hole.
What was I going to say? Oh, going back, like, Vladdy didn't move very well. Like, none of the first basemen really played a nice first base, or at least...
You didn't like when Vladdy scooped that ball up and then sprinted like he was Usain Bolt?
There was a couple balls that he just, like, didn't even, like, really move for.
You better be careful, Trev, because I still have people in my Twitter comments.
I know. Well, if they watch the game, they know exactly what I'm talking about.
They don't. Today. They think he's really good at first base because he won a faulty Gold Glove.
That's all I really got on this one. Wheeler shoved.
Yeah, I'm
kind of like the recipe there.
I'm with Jim. This is, I don't want to say this is worst case for the Marlins, but Philly was in control. Everyone on the team got a hit. Wheeler was gross, and that 6.2 earned run is a Jake Berger infield single that if Bryce Harper isn't there, I think a lot of first basemen might just cover first and let the second baseman make the play. I don't know. Even the play after that, Boehm knocks down, but he can't make the throw. You're at 7 shutout. Alvarado and Kimbrel come in. They look like Alvarado and Kimbrel to the umpteenth degree. It's as dominant as it is weird sometimes. Philly.
Marlins actually had a really nice play. The rundown at home, the throw out at home plate. That was really nice. Like, I think the Marlins played good, but the Phillies a better team. So that's where it's a little even worse case because it's not like, oh, shit, we didn't give them our best game. We made a lot of mistakes. Like, I don't know if you did.
Arise has a pretty big limp going right now. Like, this, you don't want to do – I know part of this stuff kind of stinks, but, like, the city of Philly was easily the best stadium tonight. Like, they look like they're ready to run back.
Twins was pretty cool. It just wasn't nighttime.
Twins was good. It was during the day. Like it's an unfair
It was
fight
loud
at that
there.
point.
I honestly
loud.
thought
It's
there was
impossible
going
to
to be
be
more
the
Jays
best
fans
stadium.
You and me 10 years ago going to talk to girls at the bar. I'm the Twins day game. You're the Philly night game.
Oh, the Rays set a record for lowest attendance ever for a
That's
playoff game since
insane,
1902.
guys. That's insane. Like watching
Do you have any
that
guesses
game and seeing
why?
empty seats was a joke.
Do you know why?
Well, I got some guesses, but if we want to do
You
another
could-
show.
Could bet on it.
I think it's 3 p.m. Tampa time.
3 p.m. Tampa time at a place,
St. Pete time.
a shitty stadium that you got to call out of work, sit in traffic to go to outside of Tampa.
I don't care, dude. It's Tyler Glasnow starting a playoff game. We can't fill that place up.
I love Tyler Glasnow, but he is not a marquee playoff starter.
Hot. And
They
so
think, I mean,
so is the
Trev, he's
DraftKings
not.
Sportsbook.
He's not.
The ballpark is heating up, and
not
with
saying that.
DraftKings,
I love Tyler Glasnow. One of my favorite.
just because
Chris Rose.
basically no baseball players are. That's Jimmy's argument. You can bet $5, and you'll get $200 instantly in bonus bets. Wow. We were doing a lot of betting on the live stream tonight. If that's something you're into or you think you might be into, come have fun with us while we're streaming these games. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code TALKIN. New customers can score $200 instantly in bonus bets for betting just $5 on baseball. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook with code TALKIN. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort. Licensee partner Golden Nugget Lake Charles. 21 plus. Ages vary by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. See dkng.co/baseball for eligibility. Terms and responsible gaming resources. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply.
Out of the 4 series that are going on right now, which ones have or how many do you think go to a game 3? You have 2 home team wins and 2 road team wins, so you could just play it safe and say 2.
I think the Phillies are going to win tomorrow. I do believe that. I think we all kind of said this on the last Talking Baseball preview up of what we thought the series are going to go. So I might be different from that, but I think the Phillies are going to win.
Yep.
I think the Twins are going to win. I think Sonny Gray is going to go out there and dominate. I really do.
Both home teams, which I think is fair there.
And then it wouldn't surprise me to see the Rays come back and just play better and maybe sneak one out there. So I'll say game 3 for the Rays, Rangers. And then what's the other series?
Gallen versus Brewer.
Ooh. I think it's just one. I think the Diamondbacks are going to sweep. Gallen's,
Nasty.
you guys know, I mean, he's a
Yeah.
badass.
Oh, we know.
Yeah.
He's that guy.
The Brewers did get on base a lot, and they did play
Against the bullpen game and fought like.
Yeah, no, they played good baseball, but I think the Brewers could figure it out how to scratch one out.
The safe guess would be
They're,
2.
and they're the home team, but I don't think more than 2.
I think 3's in play. I think Miami's done. I think the just true. I think the other 3, there's an argument there. Brewers weren't far off.
Rays looked the worst
home.
out of anyone.
Rays looked easily the worst.
Here's the thing. MLB teams get all the gate once it goes past the minimum number of games. So they're going to maybe they're going to call in some favors and get a couple game 3s here just to start things off real nice.
MLB gets all the money?
So in the 3-game series, the first 2 games, they split with the players, whatever the split is. And then once it goes to the 3rd game, or like the if necessary games, they keep everything.
Why?
That's just how the CBA is set up. So like they want World Series 5, 6, and 7 is so important.
Can we get
Major
the
League
players
Baseball.
some different representation? That's crazy. 7-game series is the same way?
They'll get 4. So the players will
The
get
minimum?
4.
Fuck.
4 games that are
What?
promised.
And that's the gate split and something else.
It's almost
too. I don't know what else.
guaranteed you get 5 games in a 7-game set. Like the heavy money is there. You guys couldn't even win that one?
this everything's fine right now. Okay, let's
don't
end
know.
the show and
That's
let's get to tomorrow.
Come on. Let's get the players some money.
Shop.johnboymedia.com. Check all of our MLBPA merch out.
MLBPA licensed. All right,
can
and
get the
congrats to
players some
Josh
money.
Bell. He crushes the Phillies in the postseason year after year. All right, see you guys later. Goodbye.
Garrett Nola, strap in.
Dinkle?
Oh, you know, game.
Ginkle my dinkle.
Chick sucks.
I gotta pack up. Love you, Trev. See ya.
Later. See you tomorrow, James.
Subscribe if you're new. And you listen this far.
What am I going to go do right now?